Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. When Terron Armstead speaks, you listen. The former Pro Bowl left tackle, a mountain of a man with the game IQ to match his brute strength, isn't known for throwing around wild comparisons. So when he went on ESPN's unsportsmanlike radio show and dropped a bombshell comparison between Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and legendary Saints quarterback Drew Brees, eyebrows were raised across the NFL world. This isn't just some casual analyst throwing out hot takes for clicks. This is a guy who protected both of those quarterbacks in the trenches, who watched them process defenses in real time, who saw firsthand how they prepared and performed. Armstead's words weren't just flattery, they were loaded with meaning. And for Dolphins fans hoping 2025 is the year, his comments might just be the fuel they needed to fully buy in. Armstead didn't hesitate. Asked why Dolphins fans should believe in Tua, he cut straight to the point. I wholeheartedly believe in Tua. I believe in his ability. He said with conviction, I've seen him snap into a mode that looks familiar to me from Drew Brees. That's not just some throwaway line. He doubled down, explaining that Tua has this switch, this laser-focused, stone-cold, sniper mode intensity that reminded him of what he saw in Brees during their time together in New Orleans. That's Hall of Fame territory. That's championship DNA. And that's exactly what Dolphins fans have been desperate to hear from someone who's been in the room with greatness and isn't afraid to call it when he sees it. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Consistency is the magic word here. That's the bridge between potential and legacy. Tua Tagovailoa has flashed elite traits. His accuracy is elite. His release is quick. He sees the field better than most, but staying healthy and performing at that level every week is what separates the good from the great. Armstead knows that. The Dolphins know that. And if Tua can finally string together a full season at peak form, Miami's offense could be as dangerous as any in the league. There's always been talk about his fragility, his durability, and the what-ifs, but in back-to-back seasons, he's quietly led the NFL in key statistical categories, proof that when he's on the field, he's among the best. And Armstead didn't stop at quarterback talk. He turned the conversation toward the bigger picture, the pieces around Tua that could take the Dolphins from playoff hopefuls to true Super Bowl contenders. I believe he can do it, Armstead said, if we can keep him upright up front. The Dolphins season comes down to Tua's availability. That's coming from a man who literally fought in the trenches to protect Tua. He knows the cost of a weak offensive line, but he also expanded that vision beyond offense. He singled out to names on defense Bradley Chubb and Yellen Phillips, players who've shown flashes of game-wrecking ability, but have also struggled to stay on the field. To that list, Armstead added rookie Chop Robinson. That's a name fans should get used to hearing. Robinson is explosive, disruptive, and comes in with high expectations. Armstead was emphatic. Those two guys healthy with Chop Robinson, it changes the whole dynamic of the team. You could hear the excitement in his voice. For a veteran who's seen it all from winning locker rooms to losing seasons, this wasn't empty optimism. This was belief rooted in football reality. And in a league where inches matter and momentum swings are king, having three healthy edge rushers who can tilt the field might just be Miami's golden ticket. There was a moment in the interview where it almost felt like Armstead was channeling the voice of a fan, of someone who just wants to see everything click one time. If we can get those three factors, those three guys that I named, there's no limit, he said. I feel that strongly. There's no limit. That kind of unfiltered faith is rare in the NFL, especially from a guy who just stepped away from the game. Usually, you hear guarded language, hedged predictions, but Armstead, he laid it out there. He didn't say maybe. He said there's no limit. That's the kind of statement that makes a city believe. And here's the kicker, Armstead isn't just throwing to his name and with Drew Brees based on vibes. He's seen the numbers too. Brees was a statistical monster, a precision artist with the football. Tagovailoa, he led the league in passing yards in 2023, and followed that up by leading in completion percentage in 2024. You can't fake those numbers. He's not just checking it down, he's pushing the ball with elite efficiency, and more impressively, he's the only QB in the entire NFL to have a passer rating above 100 in each of the last 3 seasons. That's not just good, that's elite company, no matter how you slice it. Still, the cloud of doubt always seems to follow Tua. Maybe it's the injuries. Maybe it's the early career inconsistencies. But now, with weapons all over the field, And perhaps the most complete Dolphins roster in decades, the excuses are running out. If Tua stays healthy, if Chubb and Phillips return to form, if the offensive line holds, this team isn't just good. They're dangerous, and Armstead, who's been in the locker room, who's seen the work behind the scenes, is betting on them to rise. He's putting his name behind it. That should speak volumes to every skeptical fan and analyst out there. As the 2025 season approaches, there's cautious optimism brewing in Miami for the first time in years. The roster isn't riddled with question marks before the first snap. The stars are aligned, at least on paper. Tua looks sharp. The defense looks deep. Mike McDaniel has his system humming. And now, with a ringing endorsement from a respected veteran like Armstead, there's real belief that this could be the Dolphins' year. The AFC is no joke, with juggernauts like Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo lurking. But if Miami's core stays upright, they have the firepower to run with anyone. So here's the bottom line. Dolphins fans, this might be it. This might finally be the year all the pieces fall into place, with Tua playing like a sniper, with a defense that can harass quarterbacks, with stars across the board ready to shine. This team has the look of a contender. And when someone like Terron Armstead looks at your quarterback and sees shades of Drew Brees, that's not just a compliment, that's a prophecy. Now, it's on Tua and the Dolphins to make it real. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? All right, folks, buckle up because the NFL rumor mill is buzzing like never before. Word on the street is that the Miami Dolphins might have just pulled off a blockbuster move that could shake up the AFC East and send ripples throughout the league. Sources whisper that the Dolphins have reportedly sent tight end Jonnu Smith, along with a second-round draft pick, to the Las Vegas Raiders, and in return, they could be bringing in the electrifying wide receiver Davante Adams. Imagine that, a potential duo of Adams and Jalen Waddle terrorizing defenses every single Sunday. It's the kind of trade that, if true, would instantly elevate Miami's passing game into elite territory, making them a nightmare for defensive coordinators around the league. Now, let's unpack what this could mean for Miami's offense. Davante Adams is no ordinary receiver. He's a perennial Pro Bowler and a proven playmaker who can change the complexion of a game with his route running, hands, and ability to create separation. Pair him with Jalen Waddle, who already exploded onto the scene with his blazing speed and smooth moves, and you have a receiving tandem that's arguably among the most dangerous in the NFL. Adding Adams would give quarterback Tua Tagovailoa two legitimate weapons who can stretch the field vertically and also dominate in the red zone. This combo could unlock a whole new level of offensive creativity for the Dolphins. On the flip side, though, the Dolphins giving up Jonnu Smith and a second-round pick is no small sacrifice. Smith, while not a star, has been a reliable and versatile tight end, offering solid blocking and pass-catching abilities. Plus, that second-round pick carries future value that teams rarely part with lightly. The rumor suggests Miami is betting heavily on immediate impact over potential, indicating a win-now mentality that might pay off if Adams delivers the kind of elite production expected from him. It's a gamble, but one that shows the Dolphins are serious about shaking up the status quo in their division. Over in Las Vegas, the Raiders might see this trade as a way to bolster their roster with valuable assets for the future. Jonnu Smith could fit nicely into their offense, providing a reliable target for their quarterbacks and helping in the blocking game. And of course, that second-round pick is a golden ticket to snagging a young talent in the upcoming draft. The Raiders are in a rebuilding phase, and adding draft capital while acquiring a serviceable player like Smith could be exactly what they need to set themselves up for longer-term success. This trade rumor, if true, reflects the diverging strategies of these two franchises. The buzz among analysts is that this potential trade reflects a growing trend of teams willing to make bold moves to shake up their offense mid-season or during the trade period. Miami's aggressive approach could push other teams to consider similar blockbuster swaps. Fans are already buzzing about how a Dolphins offense with Adams and Waddle would force defenses to double-team and rethink their schemes. It's a move that could revive Miami's playoff hopes and reignite the excitement around their team, bringing back memories of when they last made serious postseason noise. Some skeptics are cautioning fans not to get ahead of themselves, reminding everyone that trade rumors often swirl with little confirmation and sometimes fizzle out. Questions remain about Miami's salary cap space and whether Adams fits within their long-term plans. Also, there's the human element, how Adams would adapt to a new team and a new quarterback, and whether the chemistry with Waddle would materialize as fans hope. Still, the possibility alone is enough to get the NFL community talking, debating, and imagining the exciting offensive fireworks that could come to life in Miami. It's also worth noting how this rumored trade could affect the AFC East dynamics, with the Bills and Patriots traditionally dominating the division. Adding a lethal offensive weapon like Adams could be Miami's way to close the gap and challenge the hierarchy. The Jets and Patriots might have to rethink their defensive game plans, and it could ignite a new rivalry fueled by this bold roster shakeup. The Dolphins might just be positioning themselves as legitimate contenders, changing the narrative around their franchise's future. From a coaching perspective, head coach Mike McDaniel would suddenly have a roster loaded with versatile and dynamic receiving options to tailor his offensive schemes around. Imagine the creative play-calling possibilities with Adams and Waddle stretching the field, complemented by tight ends and running backs who can exploit mismatches. It's a recipe for a high-octane offense that could light up the scoreboard. McDaniel's offense has already shown flashes of brilliance, and adding Adams could be the final piece to push Miami from playoff hopefuls to genuine Super Bowl contenders. Meanwhile, for Raiders fans, this trade rumor might be bittersweet. Losing a star like Adams would be tough, but acquiring a solid tight end and a valuable draft pick could be a sign of smart rebuilding. The Raiders have been searching for a balanced and consistent offense, and this trade might be a step toward building depth and youth. It's a reminder that in the NFL, teams have to balance the present with the future, and sometimes parting ways with a superstar can lead to new opportunities down the line. As the rumor mill churns, the big question remains, will this trade actually happen, or is it just speculation stirring the pot? Only time will tell if Miami truly lands Davante Adams and reshapes their offense into an unstoppable force. But one thing's for sure, the mere possibility has sparked a wave of excitement and anticipation among fans and analysts alike. Keep your eyes peeled, because this could be the start of a seismic shift in the NFL landscape, and the Dolphins might just be at the center of it all. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!